What is an adult problem you were not prepared for? Losing people. Loved ones passing away is the hardest. Then there's the nasty breakdown of personal relationships, family relationships and friendships. Then there's the sad drifting apart that happens when life takes you on a different path to a person you were once really close to. I had a very close friend during my high school and college years. She wrote me a letter once, and it said that if we drifted apart then she wouldn't take it personally because life happens. It was in a joyful tone too, and if we drift apart, no worries, life happens. I stumbled upon that letter during quarantine, and it twisted at my heart. We haven't talked in years. I felt so much guilt for not keeping in touch. I moved several states away to start a new life. She seemed to have disappeared. I asked some of our other friends about her, and they all don't seem to know. I texted the last number one had of hers, and then emailed her a week later when I didn't hear anything. It's been about 2 to 3 weeks now. Still no response. I did have a very vivid dream about her recently. We were both checking ourselves into a mental ward and we hugged each other crying. She told me to give her time to respond, and that I just need to wait. I don't know if that's my subconscious interpreting the situation in symbolic form, or if it was actually her reaching out to me through higher means than humanity still has yet to understand. I woke up almost crying, but at the same time my soul felt relieved knowing that she's still out there and will hopefully get back to me. Sorry for the long post. I didn't realize it would send me off on unloading about personal relationships deteriorating. If you read all of this, please reach out to your old friends. They miss you. It's entirely possible to lose your job through no fault of your own. Having lost a job I was very passionate and proud of, and excelled in very quickly with great promise of bigger and better things, and then boom. Laid off. All accomplishments suddenly mean nothing. Happened to me at the end of February this year and I'm still so broken. I loved it. And they liked me. And it was after a year of being on and off employed, looking for something that didn't completely destroy my soul. I just can bear the thought of searching and interviewing and feeling out the work culture and starting over yet again. Thankfully / terrifyingly, the pandemic has made jobs scarce anyway. Unemployment checks carefully rationed. Lots of rice and beans for me and you can lose a job you like and are good at in a moment. I'm so fucking sick of it. If it happens again I'm just going to live out of a van and DoorDash or something. Don't forget to park it down by the river. Drifting away from school friends because moving away, but then struggling to make new friends in a new city. I have a friend from high school that I really do love to hang and talk with still. When I moved to college 2 hours away, we barely saw each other. When I graduated and moved only 40 minutes away, I swore I would visit more often. But I also then had a job that ate up my time. I ended up seeing her even less now despite living closer. It's so frustrating. Keeping everything balanced in your 20s is so damn hard. Wait until your 40s. I now understand why my dad said one is lucky to count their friends on one hand. Having to institute a complete body hair management program. Ears, eyebrows, nose, chest, balls, ass. Then losing it the only place I want it. My head. For the first time ever. A few months ago my barber said, "Mate, you want me to do something about these eyebrows?" Same. About a year ago. It feels like being offered a breath mint. Being able to not cook the same meal every day while balancing hundreds of other tasks. I will always admire my mom for how she was able to cook, have a clean house, work 43 hours, and help her children do homework all while taking time to work out at the end of every day. I could mention other common problems like money management and common tasks that I haven't mastered. But what really hit me like a train was the actual transition of adulthood. Him talking about having to make my own appointments and having to keep tabs on myself instead of handing every single document to my mom. I realized how unorganized I was when I found my birth certificate in the same drawer where I have junk receipts. I realized how unorganized I was when I found my birth certificate in the same drawer where I have junk receipts. Hi, I'd like to return this child. Yes, I know he's 30 years past the return date. Can I speak to the manager? It's not in the original box. Sorry. The snowball effect of poverty. Every major bill or unexpected emergency, $500 plus, takes you back 6 months to a year. It feels like you're on an escalator made of mud. Just had to pay $400 for a CAT scan for a pain in my side I've been having. Throwing that money away, to be told they can't see anything wrong, just hurts. Edit. I realize my measly $400 is nothing compared to what other people have to deal with. But Op's statement just rang true for me last night. I was tossing and turning trying to sleep knowing that I'd be getting a call this morning that would tell me if I had to go in for an endoscopy or another goddamn CAT scan because they need to scan my stomach/pancreas again since they found nothing before. And my situation has yet to improve. It's the not knowing while paying out the ass for this type of stuff that is frustrating. I've got a painful lump in my stomach that can be felt but hasn't shown up on ultrasound, x-ray or CAT scan. Next step is CAT scan with contrast. I feel you. Having a presentable place and debating myself on why it matters. It always frustrated me when my parents had a guest over and we had to deep clean the whole house. Like if it's my close friend of 8 years visiting. Why do I care what they care about my cleanliness? And yet, every time people are over I find myself cleaning the apartment up for some reason. First thing you say is excuse the mess. Even if you think it's readily tidy, just in case they don't. Pain. Arthritis is fucking horrible and early onset autoimmune arthritis is worse than just having an ache in one or two joints. I hurt all the time. Everywhere. And everyone just assumes you're faking it or you're a pill popper. I'm not going to live another 20 years with this pain like my dad did. And the worst part is when people say you're too young to have arthritis. Yeah, I agree. I'm way too young to have this shit. Still got it though. I don't have arthritis, but I do have other issues that I end up having to use a cane for sometimes at 28 years old, and I get that you're too young for that a lot. It drives me up a wall. Like, thanks, you've cured me. I hadn't considered I may be too young for this. If only I'd known it was that easy. I get you're too young for that. All the time I have cancer. Jesus Christ. Do children wards not exist for these people? Nobody is too young. It'd be nice if that was true though. Realizing that not even your parents have all the answers. And finally understanding that they were just figuring it out as they went just like we are. Not having an all-knowing figure to give you the answers to all your problems is the pits. And I hate it. Edit. Just wanted to add that I agree figuring stuff out for yourself is rewarding and fun. But some things you really don't want to figure out for yourself. Or can't figure out. And for those things it's nice to have someone to point you in the right direction. I thought once you become an adult you just figured it all out. Sometimes it seems like the older I get the more confused I am. The endless teeny tiny implications of adult freedom. You have your own medical insurance plan now. You need to pick a primary care physician. Okay, who should I pick? Up to Joe, but like where should I start? How do I know which doctor to choose? Up to Joe. How do other people find one? They just pick the one they literally don't know any of these doctors. I felt like this when I got hired and had to choose withholdings for taxes and what health insurance to choose. No freaking guidance whatsoever. Not being able to sleep due to stress. Yet here I lay, exhausted but wide awake. When I was younger I could sleep anytime, anywhere. Pro tip, if you don't fall asleep within 30 minutes, get out of bed. Otherwise you'll associate your bed with lying awake. Furthermore, you could actually do something. You're gonna be tired tomorrow anyway. So why not do the dishes, clean the toilet, or organize your living room? Just any small task for 15 to 30 minutes. You'll feel good because you did it. Your bed cools down. So when you get in you have something to be proud of, and your bed is cool. This has helped me many times. I've also walked a lot in the middle of the night. Lying awake sucks big time, especially because of stress. But making your home a better place by cleaning and organizing helps a lot. Edit. Avoid screens. Edit 2. To those now lying in bed for way too long. Just get out of it. Eat something healthy. Clean your desk or the kitchen counter, or give your dying plants some water. Take a small break from lying awake and try again in 30 minutes. Not too long ago I was waking up at 2 AM and just laying there for 2 hours tossing and turning thinking about all the world's problems. So I decided to outsmart my own brain. When that happened I vowed to get out of bed and go run. Which I know from experience I hate doing. So my brain learned that if I was going to wake up at 2 o'clock it was going to have to go running. And eventually, not wanting to do that, I quit waking up at 2 AM. Clever. I also am vindictive with my brain when it's a huge cunt and is flashing images of self-harm because it's unbalanced ass wants its endorphin fix. I beat the shit out of myself on the bike with IT sprints as hard as I can. And then I starve myself after /fast. The exercise helps release some endorphins and the pain of fasting bitch slaps my brain with oh you thought we had problems. So you pull that shit. Now I pull your damn glucose. Bitch. I know some people advocate love of themselves and body and shit. But mine is an obsolete peasant model that can survive on grass and water while having cholera. My body is a stocky tank that can't go fast but is dangerous over long periods of exhausting everyone else. My brain is a clever fuck who, while interested in all the things, is also a risk-averse coward who thinks we are on the verge of starving at any moment. My body or mind does not need a gentle hand. It needs the despair of poverty class living carefully balanced with the intellectual rigor of a Soviet child in a spy program. Bitch brain needs to get spanked to keep on the level. Going from having tons of friends to really having no one. Even the few you have, if they get married and start popping out kids before you. I was a groomsman at my buddy's wedding and haven't seen him face to face in 2 years. First kid. Back to college for his master's degree. House renovations have all kept him on lockdown. And now quarantine, right when he finished his degree. Man, you really have to work at friendships in adulthood. I've got 3 proper friends left from school. 2 of them. My girlfriend is really friendly with their wives, so we meet up with all of us. The 3rd dude, excluding his stag do and wedding, I've only seen him 3 times in the last 3 years. Thankfully we met up just before lockdown started. The best friends in life you cannot see for ages, but when you meet up it's like you only just saw them the week before. Jeez. I feel lucky in this respect because my core group of friends are unmarried, or in one case, divorced and childless. And we all share the same hobby, board games. Most of us are in long-term relationships. Before quarantine, we had a weekly game night. We've been trying to make it work with online games and Zoom meetings. So where do you find people like that? Realizing some friends are shitty and you shouldn't be friends with them anymore. This right here. Shitty friends don't seem that bad when you're in high school. You see a bit more of toxic behavior in college, and then once you're in the real world you realize that type of energy isn't worth having in your life. One of the upsides of getting older is that you recognize shitty behavior of friends more easily / quickly, realize you don't have to put up with etc. Have no problem cutting toxic friends loose. It's quite liberating. D. Realizing you don't have many other friends. It's hard to make new friends after 22F. All the friends you have just made work, or are just acquainted. Like what do you do, man? I have all of this going down, and I feel lonely as shit. And I have a girlfriend. I know it sounds trite, but to have a friend you have to be a friend. I actually found that it was easier to make long-lasting friends after college when I started working, so around age 22. We were all just starting out and trying to make our way in the world, so we had that in common. Then I met other people through the people I met at work and so on. Things finally slowed down as people paired off, got married and had children, early 30s for the most part. But what happened then was the acquaintance level friends sort of dropped off, and the real friends stayed. I also found after I married, and especially after I had kids, friends became kind of secondary to that. I don't mean it in a bad or selfish way, it's just that priorities change a lot when that happens. Then if you do go the kid route, you'll meet other parents in town, who live in your area, and have kids the same age, and it's easy to become friends with them as well. It's definitely a different kind of friendship as you don't have the same shared life experiences as you do with your more long-term friends. But they are worthwhile and valuable friendships nonetheless. The constant obsessive feeling that I'm fast running out of time to have an enjoyable life, even though I'm only in my 20s. I'm 40. That feeling is real, and you should listen to it. Do it now. You might not get the chance later. My great-grandmother said that she and my great-grandfather promised they would always take a cruise around the world after they retired. It never happened because life got in the way. But they could have done it when they were younger. Don't ruin yourself financially. But if you can do that crazy thing you always wanted to do, go do it. Make it happen. Edit. Let me be clear. Don't run off and put yourself in a bad situation. But if you can stretch yourself and spend a year overseas or build that car or live in that place, do it. Don't put yourself in $100,000 of debt you can't afford to have a good time. That's the opposite of what everyone else says. So much advice about not making rash decisions in your 20s. Focusing on your career and settling down. There's a balance. But life is so long. I want to do that in my 30s. If you're never making rash decisions in your 20s, do it more. If you're always making rash decisions in your 20s, do it less. That's actually a really good way to put it. If you are new to Tattletale TV, please subscribe. I have new videos every day. Stay tuned right now for another.